Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Just got alerted by Ringside News regarding a very interesting story about CM Punk, and WWE has declined his return after talks. Ringside News is a link to the source. Check them out. The link will be in the comments section down below. Basically, it states that during the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer had an update. It seems that he was off the mark with his previous report, go figure, about CM Punk returning to WWE. It turns out that WWE rejected CM Punk's advances, so there was never any talks. Gee, what a shocker. And I've said this, and I will say it again. All the CM Punk returning to WWE stories have been 100% crap. Just like it has been the last 9 years. I think it's a good decision by WWE to reject him and to move on with the future. Start getting behind talents that they know are not going to be in trouble. And the fact that CM Punk has been in trouble a lot in the last year, to where WWE saw what he did in AEW and they had the sense to turn the man down, not just because of what happened with AEW, obviously. It's by the fact that CM Punk, those past shoot interviews of him running down WWE and running down performers, continuing to just push and push and push. The fact that he complained about the way he had the falling out he did, the WWE medical doctor lawsuit, all that was just a volcano waiting to go off, and now it hit the man right in the face. WWE, like Eric Bischoff had said some time ago, does not need CM Punk. They're doing fine without him. Hell, they had Ryback. Ryback said not that long ago, CM Punk won't go back to WWE, and laid out many reasons to why they won't want anything to do with them. Plus, by the fact it never made any sense for him to come back. Yeah, hire a guy back who's been in trouble constantly. Okay, make him beat Roman Reigns after building up the tribal chief the last 3 years as Universal Champion. Screw over an entire locker room full of talents that are more deserving of a championship run than CM Punk ever is. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. Let's push a guy that constantly is in trouble, has walked out of WWE, badmouthed them, constantly brought them up in shoot interviews, and set an example of negativity and bitterness. People slam Bret Hart for all the stuff that he said about the business. CM Punk comes off as the guy that they accuse Bret Hart of being. And I've said before, if CM Punk did sign that contract, they would have a punishment waiting for him. I obviously think both sides were operating on trying to get the other to fold, and I think it backfired. The man is finished with WWE. Yeah, he had talks with them, but here's the thing. I've said before, and I'll say it again. It doesn't benefit him. It doesn't benefit WWE for both sides to do a deal. You're talking about a man that can't stay out of trouble. And yes, say what you will about the falling out with AEW he had and Tony Khan, because there were both parties involved that both screwed that whole thing up. So WWE moving on from CM Punk, it's the best solution. And before somebody says, well, you can't rule it out, never say never in WWE. No, I'm saying this. You likely will never see CM Punk in a WWE ring ever again. Okay. At this point, the man either needs to retire, go to Impact Wrestling, or go wrestle in Japan, or find something else to do. There's other options for the man, assuming he can stay out of trouble, for him to try. There's never been any real justified reason for the man to go back to a company that he ran down. I don't agree with what WWE did to the man years ago. I still think he has a right to have some disagreements and some anger. No doubt about it. But for him to just waltz back to them, and I get the logic. He's got his wife to provide for. I get it that he has to make a living. But to go back after all the complaining he did, if he had reached a deal and they did hire him back, let me tell you what he would be seen as. He'd be seen as a sellout and a hypocrite. And realistically, what is there for him to do? Yeah, he might get a WrestleMania main event, but that would mean he would have to beat either Roman Reigns or whomever the champion of Monday Night Raw is at that time. and it would not be a good message. Forget a Kevin Owens, forget Sami Zayn, forget Drew McIntyre and all these other people that have busted their butts year in and year out, have not gotten a championship run as of yet. Let's bring in the best in the world, the guy who ignored WWE reaching out to him when he walked out, the guy who went to another company and got in trouble, the guy who buried Vince McMahon and Triple H over and over and over again in interviews. It's a bad business decision. You don't get behind somebody with that negativity, regardless of the falling out he had with WWE. Both sides did play a part in that. However, CM Punk's bitterness is what came back to bite him. And now I'm sure a lot of people are probably disappointed and saddened over this news. Don't be. Don't be sad about this man not coming back to WWE, because we haven't seen the last of him. He'll go and do something else. He'll be just fine. The man's already a household name. He doesn't need WWE. And WWE doesn't need him. If anything, the two sides need to stay away from each other and just focus on other things. But these deluded fanboys, these deluded people in this YouTube wrestling community, posting false video after false video and putting returns in the title and implying it was taking place, this now is going to blow up in their faces. They pushed it so long, especially a certain somebody who's probably going to see this video, that has been a creepy CM Punk fanboy for the better part of several years, can now finally shut the hell up with the CM Punk returns to WWE crap that has never been true from the start, and the longtime wrestling fans are now seeing the truth. They want nothing to do with him. And I've said it. I called out the clickbaiting on my older channels. I said, you guys are being taken for a ride. I said it was never going to happen, and now look at this again. Further clarification, the man and WWE will never coexist again. And before these people say, well, you don't know that, they all come running back. So many people left the company and never returned and went elsewhere and did just fine and closed out their careers. WWE might be probably the biggest company around that pays the most, but they are not the only place in town. Plenty of people have gone elsewhere and have done far better than they did in WWE. And, you know, I really do feel somewhat bad for this wrestling community that got duped by fake news and stories that were obviously clickbaiting crap. But you guys chose to do what you did. You followed all these channels and all these pathological liars in the wrestling community that pushed the narrative that he was coming back when he never was. And you all bought into it. And now you all are being reminded that the channels that push that stuff out to people like you, those channels obviously thought you were stupid. They thought you were not going to do research. They thought you were going to take them on their word. And look where it got you. You all got fooled. It never made any sense for WWE to hire CM Punk back. I've said repeatedly, they're doing fine without him. There's no creative vision in that company half the time. They're bringing back past part-timers for main event spots. Why would he want to go back and be second banana behind all these past guys like Goldberg and John Cena and The Rock? Oh my God. It's just hilarious how these channels are all doing this over and over again. Get your hopes up and BS you, and then pull the rug out from under you. You guys are finally seeing it. And maybe now you guys can finally wake up. And I know some of these people are going to come at my channel. Well, someday he'll come back. Right. If he wanted to come back to WWE, if they were the only show in town, why did he go to AEW to begin with? Does that make any logical sense? If CM Punk needed WWE because they're the only place in town, like some of these people have said, why did he go to AEW and shoot them down? Why did he shoot WWE down if he wanted to go back so badly? If there was this big deal going on and both sides are going to reach an agreement and he never showed up. Every time a WWE event was in Chicago, these clickbaiting morons all came out. Well, it's in Chicago, so CM Punk is going to be there, obviously. And then people tune in, no CM Punk. But you know what? I think this is a good thing. And I know I'm going into a rant here, but maybe now you freaking people will finally wake the hell up and get it in your heads that he's not coming back to WWE. I've said before and I'll say it again, they don't need him and he doesn't need them. Both sides need to walk away from each other, and that is it. Tell me what you think in the comments section down below. WWE turning down CM Punk. Love to hear from all of you. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'm out of here.